it's been a couple days actually. It's been close to a little over 48 hours that this silicone's been drying. Just haven't had a chance to come out and mess with it. But this piece came out of the mixing cup and it's very stretchy, not tacky at all. So, you know, actually if I push in, no, it's good. And it's got good detail from the bottom of the cup. So hopefully this works out great. So this was the bullet mold. And actually, it's pretty cool. You can see the bullet at the bottom of the cup. So that's pretty neat. So what I'm gonna try and do is cut the cup off and get the bullet out. So let's see how that goes. I'm just gonna start by cutting around the cup and tearing it around it so that hopefully I don't mess the mold up. Wow, that's cool. Very bouncy. So what I'm gonna do now is, since the bullet's at the very bottom, I wanna pour from this end down to the tip of the bullet. So I'm gonna cut with a razor blade from here down to probably, you know, at least midway. Try not to cut all the way down, obviously, because then the mold will be useless, but I want to leave as much of the mold intact as possible. So let's try that out. So it's got a razor blade. So what I was reading is that you want the line to be jagged so that the mold comes back together, and it leaves a good seam, essentially, so it locks itself back together. Let's see how this works here. I'm just gonna go back and forth in a jagged edge. And then I'm gonna spread it apart and then try and cut a seam here. From all of my research and looking into making molds, this is the hardest part, is getting demolding. But willing a little bit of patience, maybe I can get this out. So as you can see, it's starting to come apart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of stretch it out a little bit and see if I can get that bullet to release. See, you can kind of see that it's starting to tear apart a little bit, which is, just take your razor blade, cut in there. There we go. Yeah. Oh, it's starting to come apart. It cuts pretty easy once you get in there, so let's see here. Wrestle this thing out. Ta-da! So there's the bullet. It's actually extremely clean. Like, I feel like if I wipe this bullet down with some alcohol, I can still use this. So that's a good thing, because these little guys are pretty expensive. And there's the mold. So it's hard to see on camera, which is a good thing. But there's the seam. You can see I kind of messed up a little bit right there where I dug it out a little bit. But the mold is so thick. I mean, that's a good, at its most shallow point, that's a good 1/2 inch. This mold's gonna last a long time, I think, I hope. So, there's the seam. So I may have to, you know, once I pour the resin, I may have to cut it a little bit more to get the resin piece out, but you can't really tell down in there or not. But even the very small ridges along here around the top of the bullet, you can see down in the mold. It's pretty cool. Kind of bummed out that I didn't get the lettering in the mold, because I'm going to pour from the thickest part and have the resin flow down into the tip of the bullet. Maybe that's a project for the next time. So there you go. Demolded and ready to pour some resin.